Well, hello everyone. I am making a flower cane, and I normally don't videotape myself doing anything because I'm not sure how to use any of these video software pieces and all that stuff. So I might sound like an idiot, which is another reason probably why I don't video myself. But I'm bored, I'm at home, and I'm making a flower cane. So I thought, you know what, why not? I'll go ahead and just do it. So I'm starting out with 2 pieces of orange, 2 pieces of cad yellow, and 2 pieces of white. I'm going to make this kind of weird, I guess, just because I don't have any cutters right now. So I'm just going to put this together a different way than what everybody might be used to. And then I'm going to push this in a little bit just so I can have an area where the white comes through. I'm alone at the house today. I'm so happy about that, but I do have my dogs, and you know what? They like to bark when I'm on video. It's been all nice and quiet. As soon as I got on this, they decided to start barking. It doesn't help that all the neighborhood dogs are barking as well. Okay, so I'm going to take this white, and I'm going to bring it all the way up, and actually I'm going to add a little bit more white just to fill in where I stretched it. I love making cane, I love making flowers, and I love making kaleidoscope. But I don't know, I've been in a flower mood, maybe because it's been really cold out here, even in Southern California. And it just started warming up like the last couple of days. So I'm in flower mode now. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but you get the picture right there, right? So we're just gonna thin it out. And I'm going to go run this on the pasta machine, and I will come right back. Okay, so I'm back, and so this is what I came up with. Now, I didn't go into a complete gradient because I kind of want to see some of the lines on it for what I'm doing. I just wanted it to show up a little bit better. And then I'm going to do something different with this, but I'm going to run this. Actually, I'm not going to run this through. Or am I? Yes, I am. Sorry. I'm going to run this through. I'm just going to run it through like a 3 or a 4. Clay is really sticky, so it's kind of taken a while. This is what we got. I just did it to a 4. I don't really need a whole lot. I do like the white though, and that's what I wanted. Okay, so now you're going to make it into a fan fold. The yellow for me is going to be on the bottom. I guess it doesn't really matter because both of them are going to be on one end. And as you can see, I'm not worried about how neat I do this. Okay, now I got it a little smaller. See if I can make it an easier way to do this. I normally work with half the amount of clay that I'm working with now, because I'm always afraid I'm going to waste clay. I don't know why. I'm a glass worker. I make lampwork beads, and I'm the same with my glass. I'm really careful, and I don't really allow myself to play because I'm more worried about waste. And I know that's stupid, especially for this, because it's not that expensive for clay, but it's really hard for me to get out of it. Okay, so here we go with our fan fold. So now what we need to do is we need to stretch it, okay? But we don't want to stretch it this way. from top to bottom, because what we're going to do is we're going to run it through the pasta machine again to make this a really long gradient. So you don't want to lose your layers by doing, by pulling it this way and down. You want to keep the layers, and you just want to get rid of the width. Okay, because again, this is going to go back into the pasta machine. So we want this. And if we squish all that white together, then we're not going to get the result that we want. Okay. Now you can go ahead and use a roller. I'm afraid if I do, though, I might lose the shape. So I'm just going to continue with my finger. And the goal is to make it thin enough. Let me change this a little bit. Everything's kind of moving with me shaking around. The goal is to put this back through the pasta machine. So you're going to want to go thin. Oh, my workbench, if you could see it, it is so bad right now. I made some glass beads for orders this morning. So my other side, which is where my torch is about as messy as this workbench. So maybe today I can just stop for a minute and clean. But we all know that's not going to happen. Okay, so we're getting it there. Okay, so that's how thin it is. We're going to go a little bit more. We also got a nice size gradient already, so this is going to end up being really, really long. But anyways, I don't normally use this much clay like I was saying before. And I'm finding out when you make your flower cleans, go big. I mean, seriously, go big. It has been so much easier for me to make the petals and just to make a really nice cane instead of trying to struggle with making, I don't know, I was making them about, I don't know, my canes would be about this big. And so when I'm stretching it out to here, they're only like that thin. And it's just really hard to manipulate it. And then they get all wobbly and wonky. And so I doubled everything today. And it makes such a big difference. Okay, so I think we're thin enough. I'm going to go ahead and run it through the pasta machine. So now we're going to run it this way. We're going to try and make this gradient really long. I'm using an Atlas. And so I am running this on a 0. I'm not trying to get it really thin. I just want every one of them to be consistent in thickness. Okay, so this is what we got. It's going to be a bright flower, I think. And I've got red up here. I'm thinking if that's what I want to cover it with, but I still haven't decided yet. I don't know if I want to do a dark orange or if that'll start bringing fall into the flower, and I'm trying to keep it summery. All right, so on these, I'm just cutting it at 2 inches. Not too long, not too short. Okay. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm really not a professional clayer, and I don't have the wonderful setups for a camera or fancy gadgets. It's just me trying to keep from going crazy being home like the rest of us. And we got one more. I might be able to stretch that out to make that about 2 inches. Maybe, maybe not, but won't hurt if we use that. Okay. All right, so now that you got that, you're just going to lay them. And you're just going to kind of, I know the word, I just can't think of it now. You're going to straggle them, I guess. You know, some put up there, some a little lower. And this way it's going to give us the striations in the cane. I know I didn't even show you a picture of what this is going to look like when it's done. So consider this just a surprise cane. Follow along and then you'll be surprised. Okay, so I'm going to go up. And up. Down. And this one I'm just going to put back up. Okay. So basically, that's what we got. Okay. So now all we're going to do, I'm sure you've seen other videos of people that have done this. I'm not making anything new. I'm just recording for the heck of it. A lot of times I'll record something that I make, and that way I can use that technique in something else. But half of the time I forget to turn the video on. So I'm just trying to make this round now. Okay, so okay, so pretty much what we got. So I took a strip of red. I don't know if red will make this into, you know, like a fall color flower. It kind of does. Or I could just take orange and maybe add a little bit of black. So we're going to try that before we decide on the red. I got a little bit of orange here. It goes halfway through. So let me add, I know I have black hanging around everywhere. I don't know what black looks like with orange. I don't know if it's going to completely turn it into a funky color or not. Or I could use purple. Okay, you know what? Changed my mind after I just put black in the orange. I'm going to go fuchsia or purple. I'm going to pull them both out and then figure out which one I like better. So, okay, actually I got 3 things I can do. I can do a magenta pearl. We have fuchsia. We have a purple pearl. That's really pretty too. You know what? I'm going to go with the fuchsia, I think. If I look at the purple, kind of darkens it. I do want to find a purple though. And I don't have any purple. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's pretty, but it really sets it off, really darkens it. Okay, but this one keeps it bright and happy. Okay, so we're going to go with, what did I pick? Purple pearl. And I don't want a whole lot of this. I just want to cover it. So I will probably cover it into a size, I'll run it through the machine on a size 4. Actually, this purple might be nice for another flower later. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and run this through. It's a 3, and we're going to do a 4. I don't know if this is going to be big enough. Yeah, it should be. Yeah, I don't start out with big pieces, I know. Okay, so I'm just going to slide that across. Okay. so there is my fuchsia. Take off a little more. This is going to be a really bright flower. Oh well, it's just the end. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to take this now and I'm going to reduce it to 6 parts. So I'll probably go either 1 1/4, 1 1/2, which would make me need to go to about what, 9 inches if I do 1 1/2. So let's go ahead and get this reduced and then I'll come back. I'll see you in a minute. Sorry guys. So I'm almost there. There's 2 things that I didn't mention. One of the things I'll explain to you when I get to my last pole at the end of the cane. But the second one was when I wrapped this with the magenta pearl, I left a strip, I took off a strip off camera on the very, very bottom. And the reason I do that is so that it doesn't get all wonky when I'm trying to reduce this. And I kind of know where the yellow is on the bottom. Okay, so I don't know. I'd like to make this. This just seems like it's a little different in size than the rest, but I think it's okay. Okay, so there we go. So this is what we have so far. Okay, actually, it's not as concentrated as my other ones were, but I guess that's okay. So I ended up going to 9 inches. So I'm going to cut 6 of these and I'm going to cut them at 1 1/2 inches. Okay, so now we have 6. The other thing I do is I'm going to need to squeeze one of these sides down, and this is why I have that little space here, because this way I know exactly where to squeeze. And that will always remain in the center. Okay, I don't put them down here and flatten them, because then this is going to start getting flattened, and I want to leave the petal round. So it doesn't really have to be perfect. But just, you know, make it into your shape. And my hands and my nails, they're just full of clay, so excuse the way they look today. I really need to put some polish on my nails, but I wash my hands constantly and polish never lasts. So this is what I am. Okay, so there's 2. So now do this with the other 4. You can make this more petals if you want. I chose 6. But you can do less, you can do 4, you can do 5, you can do 7 and 8. But so far I'm liking the 6 petals. I might try a 7 or an 8 later tonight. See how much cleaning I do. Yeah, you can see how I set that down like that. That's just habit. So I'm trying to just do this in my hand. I got 2 dogs that will not leave me alone. They're ready for their walk. So as soon as this cane's done, I will take them around the neighborhood and look at all the neighbors that are doing the same thing, because we're all home stuck for a while. Okay, so one more. Okay, so now I've got to decide what I want to put in the middle. And I think a nice wasabi green and either white or maybe a black to really highlight it. It's going to look really nice. And I think I made a wasabi last night. I will look, because that would make it a heck of a lot easier if I already have it made. Okay, so there are my 6 petals. Oh, I did. I made this last night. Okay, let's take this one. We're gonna thin it out just a little bit, just to get it to 1 1/2 inches, which is about right there. I don't know, maybe a wasabi and white would look better than a wasabi and black. What do you think? Okay, do I want that or do I want a wasabi and white? Such interesting questions we're asking. Okay, I'm going to make a wasabi and white and just see if I like that one better. So I will show you quickly. It shouldn't take that long to make it. I don't need a whole lot. Oh, no, that was stupid. I need wasabi in the center. This is all unscripted, unfortunately. I don't know what I'm making. I just knew the colors I wanted to play with. And I'm going from there. So, sorry if this isn't really organized. Story of my life. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on probably a number... maybe a number 4 or 3. Just something to break it up. So, let's try a 4. Okay, I think a 4 is good. Yep. Not looking for perfection, so. Okay, and I'm going to do this at about, I don't know, I need 7 pieces, so when it starts getting really tough to do this too, I'll leave it at that and cut it at that size, whatever it ends up being. So I could do a 1/2 inch. But I'm already at 7, so we're just going to keep going. Okay, so 1, yeah, we're just going to cut it at 7. We'll use that for something else. We'll do 1 inch. We're just going to put all this around the green. There you go, like another flower. And now we're just going to reduce that. Okay, I don't want a big piece, but I don't want to go too small either. So let's try that. So now I got to decide which one I like better. Wow. I think it's funny how you get to the very end and then that's when you start having problems. Okay, so that's going to be that one. And that's that one. I'm kind of wanting to make it bright, so I'm going to stick to this one right here. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure. Okay, so now we're going to put the flower together. make sure that all of your petals are touching the middle. Okay. Okay, looks good on that side, and then you got to do the other side too. As you can see, they weren't touching. And put you right there. My dogs are moaning like a bunch of pathetic little dogs over there. Act like they never eat. They act like they never go out for walks. Okay, so anyways, there's the flower. Let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. So there's your flower. Okay, looks good on both sides. So now what I'm going to do is, I can leave it like that if I wanted to and just pull it. But then it would make it round. Sometimes you lose the definition in the petals. So I'm going to use some white translucent. Oops, that's translucent. I'm kind of liking the white translucent. I normally use just regular translucent, but I don't like the yellow tint. So I started using the white and I really like it. And all I'm doing here, which actually Meg Newberg made a really cool video. And the way she cut her translucent to go in her flowers was she layered like 3. And then she cut it in an angle like that. So I'm going to try that. I'm not really good at that. And it might end up being too small anyways. Let's try one more. Yeah, okay. We're going to do it just the regular way that I do it. It's not better. Okay, so I'm going to move that over. And I'm going to make this round. Okay. We need 9 inches of this. Okay. I'm just going to cut off the ends here. Okay, and I'm just going to squish all this. Okay, got some areas that are a little bigger. I don't want a really big piece. Okay, so now I'm going to squish. Kind of give me a little triangle piece. Flatten it down a little bit. You kind of want them all the same size. When you're doing it by hand like this, it's hard for me to do that, but we're going to see what happens, right? So let me just see what happens here. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do is stick a little right there in the middle. Okay. And it's going to give a little definition to the flowers. This might be bigger than the other ones. We'll see. Not much. Yeah, it's too late to do anything now. So there's 3 and 4 and 5. I think I got enough. Okay. That just seems really small. All right, back to the drawing board. See, then I just made it smaller again. So I'm gonna have to fill that a little more, which you can always add a little bit of circles to it, but yeah. Okay. So yes, I'm gonna add a little bit more to this one. Seems a little short. It doesn't have to be perfect, so if it's not perfect, don't be hard on yourself and know that it's still going to look really good. The way I look at it, if I can make one of these, you all can too. Okay, so we're going to do one more, and then we might just add a little bit of it to the top. Okay. Okay, so let's look. Okay, so this has got a little more. That's got a little more. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit on top here. And I'm going to put a little bit on top here. All right, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so the final step before reducing this is to add a little layer of translucent on the top. I know you guys are probably going, ooh, that looks really ugly. But trust me, it's going to look really good. I have faith. Okay, so I'm going to do probably a slice on a size 0. I'm going to just make a really nice covering around it. When you use your blade, make sure that you use the right side. You can tell that I use the minimal amount of clay needed. That's a habit I don't think I'll break. Okay. Just trying to make this wide enough. Perfect. I'm thinking it's long enough. I'm hoping it's long enough. So I'll do that. I can't see on this side. That's why I usually slide it, because I can't see what I'm doing. Makita, hey, stop. Okay, so now this is your final step. And if you have a problem of it going over, just stretch it. We got a little bit of playroom being at a size 0, so okay. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so that's it. So now we're going to do it again. We're going to reduce it. I I don't know, maybe a quarter size, maybe a little bit bigger, but that's your finished flower. Okay, and the other tip that I wanted to give you, I found out this the hard way, and I'm sure other people do it. I'm not saying that I invented it or anything like that, but normally when you reduce from the center out. Okay, we all got that. We all pretty much reduce that way. I think my problem when I was making canes before was that I reduced it almost to the size that I wanted it, and then I started reducing the ends, and so I was getting a whole lot of waste. And so now the difference that I've been seeing is still reduce from the center. Don't roll it, because if you roll it, you're going to get distortion, and you're going to get a lot of wasted glass on the end. Or glass, oh my god, clay. Can you tell I'm a glass worker? My dog is dreaming and barking. I have the house alone today, so I thought, yeah, it's a perfect day to do this. But I forgot I still have the dogs here, so. Okay, so what I do is just do a little bit at a time. Okay, so now I got, you know, the center a little down, but now I'm going to start bringing it up. And I notice that if I slowly do it, then I don't seem to have that much waste at the end. Okay, and this is going to take me forever. So I'm going to reduce this maybe a $50 size just so I can cut it and show you what it looks like. So I'm going to hit pause while I reduce this to about half of what it is now, and I'll be back. See you then. Okay, so I finally got it done. It's been about 15 or so minutes, and I got it to about right here. So I'm just going to pull the ends a little more. That way it's completely done. And I could either cut it up and sell it or cut it up and use it. I have not sold any canes yet, but I am thinking of maybe putting some up there while I'm off of work, because everything helps. Or I might just make some beads with it. I had 3 shows that canceled, and I don't have another show until October. So it's give me time to really build up inventory, right? Okay, so I think that's done. Let me just go ahead and finish. It's a little bit. All right, so you ready? Kind of excited to see it, kind of nervous as usual. So these are what the ends look like, and it does not look like the flower that we made, but that's because everything got pushed out. So I'm going to cut that right there, cut that right there, and now I'm going to cut the middle, and here we go. So actually, I'm going to cut it at about 3 inches. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. So those are my little flowers. So what do you think? I think they turned out okay. So that's it. So now we got a big one. Ooh. And there we go. So now we have really pretty flowers. So if you can think of any other color combos I can do, actually I made a couple yesterday. So I have a peacock pearl with a lime green. And then I made a violet and turquoise. Or I'm sorry, a purple and turquoise. So put them all together and you've got yourself a nice little garden. This is something I made the other day. I'm not really impressed with it. Didn't work the way I wanted, but it's interesting. And we all like interesting. So basically, that's it. So I hope you like it. And if you can think of some colors, please comment. I can always use color combos. That's the one thing that I'm really horrible at. And I'm always using the same colors because I can't think of anything else. So if you can think of anything, let me know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.